Namaste and welcome to Shom. In this video, we will quickly cover some of the latest geopolitical updates, including Israel's cyber attacks on Iran, the US deploying the THAAD missile defense system in Israel, the impact of the recent Sri Lankan elections on India, Canada's allegations against India, and finally, we will briefly discuss the Pakistani establishment. Let's begin with Israel's cyber attacks. There have been massive cyber attacks on Iran, targeting everything from government agencies to nuclear facilities. On October 1, Iran launched around 200 missiles at Israel, to which Israel has not yet responded. It is being said that these massive cyber attacks mark the beginning of Israel's retaliation. All three branches of Iran's government, the legislature, executive, and judiciary, have been affected. The attackers have successfully stolen sensitive information. Iran's critical networks such as ports, fuel distribution, municipalities, and transportation have also been targeted, causing widespread panic in the Islamic Republic. At the moment, Iran has banned the use of electronic devices like pagers and walkie-talkies on flights in an effort to prevent potential risks. Meanwhile, Israel is preparing for a military response after the cyber attacks. Israel has already stated that it will certainly retaliate for Iran's missile attack and will deliver a response more devastating than Iran could anticipate. Israel's military operations are already underway in northern Gaza and Lebanon, and violence is escalating across the Middle East, increasing the risk of a broader conflict. The next development is related to this. The US is deploying missile defense systems in Israel. Iran had warned the US not to send its military forces to Israel, but the US completely ignored this warning and is now sending the THAAD missile defense system along with troops to operate it to Israel. THAAD stands for Terminal High Altitude Area Defense. It can destroy ballistic missiles by intercepting them in the air. Why was this necessary? Look, recently, Hezbollah carried out a drone attack on an Israeli army base north of Tel Aviv. In this attack, 4 Israeli soldiers lost their lives and about 60 people were injured. It has been described as one of the deadliest attacks on Israel since the start of the war. Israel is currently investigating how these drones managed to enter its airspace without triggering any alert. To further strengthen Israel's air defense, reduce pressure on the Iron Dome, and protect Israeli cities, military assets, and critical infrastructure from attacks, THAAD is being deployed in Israel. THAAD can counter enemy missiles, while Israel's Iron Dome system can focus on repelling drone attacks. By arming Israel in this way, continuous pressure is being exerted on the Iranian regime. After Iran's missile attacks on October 1, the US imposed more sanctions on Iran. To further damage Iran's economy, sanctions were placed on ships and companies that Iran was using to secretly transport its oil. An India-based company is also included in these sanctions. Anyway, pressure is mounting on Iran, while Israel has intensified its activities against Iran's proxies in Gaza and Lebanon. So, the security situation in West Asia is deteriorating. Next, we will talk about Sri Lanka. Last month, Mr. Anura Kumara Dissanayake became the new president of Sri Lanka after winning the elections. He is a leftist leader. In fact, he is the first leftist president of Sri Lanka. Currently, his biggest challenge is reviving Sri Lanka's economy. The country is burdened with debt, foreign exchange reserves have been depleted, the country is witnessing hyperinflation, and there is a shortage of essential commodities. At this time, there is an urgent need for structural reforms to address the economic challenges. Mr. Dissanayake belongs to the Janata Vimukthi Peramuna or JVP party, which is a Marxist party. Traditionally, this party has had an anti-India stance. For example, after the signing of the Indo-Sri Lanka Agreement in 1987, the JVP led an armed revolt against the Sri Lankan government. However, Mr. Dissanayake has now apologized for his party's violent past and admitted that India has been a great help to Sri Lanka during difficult times. This indicates a shift in his party's traditional anti-India stance. Given how India has recently helped the Maldives, which is also facing an economic crisis, Sri Lanka, facing its own economic challenges, will likely avoid displeasing India at least for now. And considering Sri Lanka's strategic location, India will be keen to maintain strong ties with its southern neighbor to secure its national interests and counter Chinese influence. India would want to avoid any disturbances in this region, as there are important security and scientific installations on its southern coast, such as naval bases, nuclear power plants, and space centers. Therefore, India will prioritize peace and stability in the area. Efforts will likely be made to prevent Sri Lanka from falling under Chinese influence, especially given the security threats that could emerge from Sri Lanka's Hambantota port, which was leased to China for 99 years under previous leadership. Hopefully, like the Maldives, which has finally realized the importance of its relationship with India, Sri Lanka will also consider India's security concerns and avoid actions that go against India's interests. We hope that during Mr. Dissanayike's tenure, relations between India and Sri Lanka will strengthen. The next development is about the deteriorating ties between India and Canada. Once again, Canada has alleged that India was involved in the killing of pro-Khalistan separatist Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Through diplomatic communication, Canada informed India that the Indian High Commissioner and some other diplomats might be involved in the Nijjar case. India rejected these baseless allegations and, in strong terms, described them as part of the Trudeau government's political agenda. For the sake of vote bank politics, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has been raising the issue of India's involvement in the Nijjar case for the past year, although he hasn't provided any proof till date. India has repeatedly asked the Canadian government for evidence, but since no evidence exists, how will they provide it? Despite the ongoing investigation, no link has been found and no concrete proof has been provided. Yet, for political gains, the Trudeau government quickly makes allegations against India without proper consideration. Due to Mr. Trudeau's hostile attitude towards India, relations between the two countries have significantly worsened. Recently, when Prime Minister Modi attended the ASEAN summit in Laos, he met Mr. Trudeau, but there was no substantial discussion between the two. And why would there be? Mr. Trudeau has damaged relations with India by failing to act against anti-India elements. As long as the Canadian government continues to allow the anti-India separatist agenda to flourish in Canada, gives space to Khalistani extremists who openly threaten India, and makes absurd and politically motivated allegations against India, there is no hope of repairing relations between India and Canada. Now, since we are talking about Khalistan, which is supported by Pakistan, let's quickly discuss Pakistan's establishment as well. The Pakistani Military and Intelligence Agency, ISI, jointly run the country. Together they are referred to as the Pakistani establishment. Politicians must act according to their directives, otherwise they risk facing consequences, as seen with former Prime Minister Imran Khan. Despite his tremendous popularity and widespread support, Imran Khan is in jail today. There was massive rigging in the elections, and the country's leadership was handed over to those loyal to the establishment. Imran Khan tried hard to bring about a revolution. He organized nationwide protests, held large rallies, and exposed the Pakistani establishment's connection with the US, attempting to raise public awareness. However, these efforts did not make much of a difference. The grip of the Pakistani establishment on the country remains very strong. As Imran Khan became a nuisance, the establishment quote-unquote managed him, showing little concern for the fact that this process would once again expose their corruption and disregard for human rights, democracy, and the rule of law. The Pakistani establishment is skilled at maintaining its influence by manipulating public opinion. To uphold its legitimacy, the Pakistani military and ISI support anti-India elements, providing them with financial and logistical backing. They aim to create instability in India's regions like Kashmir and Punjab. By maintaining tensions with India, the establishment tightened control over Pakistan's defense policies and politics. They also justify large military expenditures to people who struggle to meet their basic needs. So, these were some recent geopolitical events. We will cover more updates in the next video. Thank you for watching.